All right, welcome back to the channel. And if you saw part one of this series, you would have seen that we took a Dell Optiplex 3010, we popped in a Xeon E1230 V2, clocked at 3.4 gigahertz, 4-core, 8 threads, and then we even did a comparison between that and the traditional i7 3770 that people typically go and put in here. Looking at the price to performance, this was $50 to $60. The i7 3770 was $100 to $110. So as you can see, half the price, just as good as the performance. In fact, it only lagged behind maybe 3 to 5%. Don't quote me on that. Maybe a little more, maybe a little less, mostly a little less. But for half the price, you're able to help your budget. In this case, I got that CPU for $25 on eBay. If you shop around, you browse, and you just keep haggling, you'll eventually get it for the price you want. And I got this, luckily, for $25. This Optiplex, we got it for 20 bucks. So we're into this build, $45. And today we're gonna kick it up a notch. And we're gonna customize this case, give it a little paint job, pop in some better parts, and see if we can flip it and how much can we make a profit for. So this is where we're at. As you can see, we have our Xeon E12, my Xeon E3-1240 V2. So we have that we're gonna pop in. We're gonna put in a 1 terabyte Western Digital just to load our games and storage. We got our 120 SSD from PNY. Good drives. They usually cost about $18 to $19 on Amazon. And on eBay, we got these DDR3 HyperX Fury 1600. So we got 16 gigs for $20 on Amazon. No, not Amazon, eBay, sorry. For the video card, this is probably gonna be the most controversial part of the build, and I'll explain why. We went with the GTX 760. Yeah, I know. We're throwing in the Xeon. We probably should put in a 1050 Ti, at least a 970 in here, or even a 1650 or 1660 Super would actually be a great choice for this. But I'm trying to flip this, number one, to make the most profit, and number two, to accommodate the area I live in. So now, your area and where you live in determines how much you're gonna sell your computers for. My area, people don't wanna pay no more for these type of computers, $200 to $300. So if I put in a 1650, 1050 Ti and I pay about $120, I'm already gonna lose money on it. So I can't typically sell these computers for any more than $300. Nobody wants to buy computers in my area for $300. They either wanna go brand new, top of the line, all gaming, or they just want an intro budget gaming computer. And this is the build that we make. And it's so much easier for me to sell these. I could sell these a dime a dozen, and people are happy with it. And then later on, they call me and they say, hey, I want to upgrade the video card, and then I buy back the old one, we put in a new one in there, they're happy. So that's why we're going with this 760. This GTX 760 is the 4 gig DDR5 variant. As you can see, she needs a little TLC and cleaning, so we'll definitely give her attention on that. And also, what we have to do is, because this requires PCI Express additional power, we're gonna have to upgrade the power supply. So we have this, and if you watch the channel, I've actually done a review on this, and this is actually a pretty good power supply. I've popped this in a couple of builds. I have one customer that's had it for over a year, never had any issue, and I've used this a bunch because I used to be able to get these for like $20 on eBay, but of course, like everything else, the price has gone up. So GameX VP600 RGB, 80 plus bronze, great power supply, semi-modular. I definitely like these power supplies, so it'll work great for this build. I paid $20 for it about a year ago, and I bought a bunch of these, so I still have that last one. So we're gonna pop it in this build and we should be good to go. So I'll tally up the numbers and I'll put it somewhere on this screen so you can see how much we're into it, and then we'll do some benchmarking, we'll play some games on it, we'll see how this thing performs. Let's start working. We got a lot of cleaning to do in this thing. I mean, this thing is pretty gross, disgusting, so definitely got to clean it, do some sanding, give it a nice look, and let's go to the montage and let's see how it comes out. We got a lot of work done, and I mean a lot of work done. And of course, as I start the recording, a truck drives by. Let's see the truck drive by. There you go. Okay. So a lot of cleaning. I mean, these office PCs, when they sit for so long, they just accumulate so much dirt and nobody just cleans them or maintains them, but that's another story. All right, so the case, we took off the drive cage, as you can see, and that looks a lot better and cleaner. I'll be able to put a full-size GPU, and it just kind of helps the aesthetic a bit. I don't know how well the light captures this, but another thing we do is we went ahead and we painted the inside of it. I didn't like that shiny silver, so I went with the black, and I think that's gonna look a lot better for the look that we're going with. So we did that, took the tray out, cleaned this up real good, got rid of all the stickers. I just gotta give this a wipe down because it got dust on it. And this thing's looking actually pretty good, so I'm very happy with that. So the color I went with is the peacock blue, and here we are. So this is what it's gonna look like. I kept the silver badging. I thought about painting it black or something like that, but I like the silver badging, and I think that's gonna look a lot better. So still got the whole Optiplex 3010, but we just gave it a nice look over there. The video card, went ahead and I painted the shroud to match. So these just need about an hour or two to fully cure, but they're already 2 coats of paint, 2 coats of clear coat. So that's where we're at with that. And the fans, I went ahead and painted the fans. As you can see, we're also going with that. This is the case fan, and this is the CPU fan, and we just went ahead and painted the little panels over here, or whatever you call those, the expansion card slots, sealer thingamabobbies. I forget what that is. So that's where we're at with it. The GPU is extremely dirty, but we got that right. Looks a lot better, a lot cleaner, and I think the look will look pretty good. And I might try to do a custom backplate to it, so we'll see. I definitely got to go to Lowe's and pick up some items over there. Heat sink's clean, everything looking good, so that's where we're gonna stop for now. So I will probably come back at this tomorrow, and for you guys it'll just be a second or two, and then tomorrow I'll go ahead and start putting this thing together. Paint will be fully cured, and we could definitely move forward and get this computer running. So we'll be right back. So we are done with the build. We're done with some gameplay footage of our Dell Optiplex 3010, return of the Optiplex, and we've gone Xeon. So just to recap real quick, my 760 GTX is actually a 2 gig. It's not a 4 gig. I think I sold that one or lost it. I don't know. But anyways, our DDR3 HyperX 8 gigs of RAM, our Xeon E3 1240 V2 3.4 gigahertz, 4 cores, 8 threads, 120 gig solid state hard drive, 1.5 terabyte. I think this is a Seagate. Yeah, Seagate at 5900 RPMs. Of course, a DVD drive, only because I can't fill it up, and somebody's gonna like a DVD drive, so might as well keep it. And we're using our 600 watt Game Max RGB power supply because, well, we have it, and why not use it? So let's talk about this. Likes, dislikes, recaps, all that good stuff. So first off, this build, phenomenal. Looking at the gameplay footage, we ran all game at 1080p low settings, and the reason why we went with low settings is because this video card is actually the bottleneck in this build. I mean, 2 gigs of DDR5 VRAM, it gets us a playable experience, and probably if we were to drop it to 720p, we could probably squeeze about 45 to 6 more consistent frames, just to say the least. Our CPU, and most times during the games, we're at 50 to 70% usage depending on the game, and we still have plenty of room for an upgrade. So what would I do different? I would definitely take this GPU, pop in a 1650, 1660 Ti, and that would just take this computer to a better level. Building it, I love the little peacock blue that we went with it. I kept the black panel all the way around, just went with that peacock blue and the accents. I did white lighting over here to just kind of accent everything over here. Now the cable management is just non-existent in this. I mean, maybe I could have just bunched these up and done some wire loom, but I mean, it's impossible to do cable management in this build right over here. There's just no place to hide it. So yeah, cable management is definitely non-existent in this case. I've seen some people do some amazing jobs, but I was having trouble with it. Another thing, definitely take out this hard drive cage. Take it out. I mean, you don't need it. I actually mounted the hard drive right up here. It's fine, it's secure, it's not going nowhere. Got 2 screws on it. Put the hard drive up here. That's gonna resolve a lot of issue. By getting rid of this, I'm actually gonna put a fan over here to blow in some fresh, cool air, and that will actually help with temperatures. The temperatures were fine with the stock the stock Intel fan. Our temperatures remain fine while gaming. I mean, I think the highest we got to was like maybe 65 to 70 degrees, and that's with the case closed. So you definitely could use the stock Intel CPU and not have a temperature issue over here. Our graphics card, I mean, it's a blower style. It is what it is, and this thing was pegged at 100%. So we're definitely gonna add a fan to kind of help lower that temperature down before we flip this computer and send it out. So that's just something to consider. This thing ran fine on Fortnite. We were able to get close to 60 frames per second, lows 45s, but for Fortnite it runs great, and that's the biggest seller in my area. That's all everybody cares about. And if they wanted to do some editing and recording and even budget streaming or anything, this is actually a pretty good rig for that. So I'm very happy with this rig. Came out very well. Just a little painting of the inside, highlighting this, painting the fan, really does make a difference. And then when we post it on the internet and we show all this highlight over here, it's definitely going to be an attention getter, and I'm sure we'll be able to flip this real easy for about $300. Mouse and keyboard, they're a dime a dozen. I have tons of them lying around. These monitors, I get them for $5 a piece. They're great monitors, and those are just little tidbits and things that you need that when you're trying to sell these computers make all the difference. I mean, if you could sell it with a mouse, monitor, and keyboard, regardless if it's entry-level equipment, to say the least, it definitely helps easy to sell it. A lot of times these people will put them on a TV monitor. That's one thing people will do, and then eventually they get their whole Razer RGB clicky keyboard, whatever, mouse. So yeah, good computer, definitely happy with it. And that's where we're at. So we'll flip it, and I'll definitely keep you guys posted on how much we made, what was the total outcome and all that stuff of it. If I flip it before this video gets out, I'll definitely add it to the end of this video, so definitely keep watching. Comment down below, let me know what you think. Hit the like button, subscribe if you're not. Thanks for watching, and as always, we'll see what we come up with next.